for those of you who don't know, EFT is emotional freedom techniques. And I'm actually also one of Kathy's clients.
It's a combination of modern psychology and acupressure.
And I know that EFT is often used with veterans who are at war, and they come back very traumatized with the PTSD. And this technique is so effective with really any topic.
You can start with, this will be so much work. If you just do a simple meditation like this before sleeping, you'll have a great night's sleep.
So please like, comment, share, subscribe if it resonated with you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Hello, everyone. It's Lynn with Shift Your Energy Now podcast, and this episode is very special. It's my dear friend, Kathleen Rafter, who's a spiritual life coach and also an EFT practitioner. And for those of you who don't know, EFT is emotional freedom techniques. And I'm actually also one of Kathy's clients, and also my family has met with Kathy, so she's part of the family. And the EFT is what we're going to focus on today, and it's super powerful and super effective. So, Kathy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Lynn, for inviting me. Mary Lynn, I'm as you know, Mary Lynn said, I'm a spiritual life coach and an EFT practitioner. And I've loved working with Mary Lynn and her family. It's been really wonderful. And I want to thank you for inviting me here. And I want to say hello to all your audience too.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And today we were going to do an actual EFT session, if you will, on finances. So if you want to explain what EFT is and does, and then you can kind of just go ahead and guide everybody. And for the listeners and viewers, if you're having challenges with your finances, you want to change that situation, go ahead and just sit comfortably and go ahead and do this EFT with us. But go ahead, Kathy.
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, as Mary Lynn said, and it's also called tapping lots of times.
Right, tapping, yeah.
It's a combination of modern psychology and acupressure.
Oh, okay.
So just by tapping on a few facial and torso points, you can dissolve any resistance that you have to whatever financial goal or any other goal. I've even used it for pain, but we're concentrating on finances today. And you can use it to just tap and just get rid of that resistance that you have. And
Yes.
through doing that, then you have an opening so that you can take action. Of course, you have to take action if you've got a financial goal.
Right.
Take the action that you need. I use this at the beginning of my practice. I was afraid to step out and do this. But through using this exact practice that I call the 5+1 practice, I went through, and as you can see, I'm practicing now. So I was able to get rid of all that resistance I had to move forward.
Right. And I know that EFT is often used with veterans who are at war, and they come back very traumatized with the PTSD. And this technique is so effective with really any topic, but a lot of vets that came back from active war zones have used it and found great relief. So it's super effective at releasing these, like Kathy said, the resistance, the blockages. So let's start with finances. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and do it with you because, I'm a fan and I know it works. So
that would be great. So with this 5+1 method, the first thing would be to set a goal.
Okay.
So, do you have a goal in mind, Mary Lynn?
So it's the last quarter of 2025 today, and I really set a goal to double my revenue in 2026, which is a big thing for me, and I almost don't believe it, and like, how would that happen? So I definitely have resistance around taking that big leap.
So the next step would be after you formulate the goal, and it's good to say it out loud, then you would go through and list whatever limiting beliefs, whatever resistance comes, along.
Okay.
And then we tap on each one of those, and we tap until we're, done with the resistance. So.
Okay.
So, we can use Let's see, I've got some popular ones here. I have to work hard to do this. How about that?
Oh, that's a
I
good
have to
one.
work extra hard to do this.
Love it.
So I'll walk everyone through the points that we're going to use. Very often, EFT is started with the side of the hand, but we're just going to forgo that today.
Okay.
And it's when you've got those limiting beliefs there, you just tap one by one by one. It goes really fast. And sometimes using the side of the hand, which actually sets up your subconscious, can kind of slow things down.
Okay.
So I'll just call out the points just to make the process a little bit more, a little bit quicker.
Okay.
So you can say, and some people start with the top of the head, some people with the eyebrow. I was always taught to go with the top of the head. So you can start with, this will be so much work.
This will be so much work.
And just whatever comes to mind. I don't know, top of the head, inside of the eye, where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose. I don't know how I would ever get all of it done.
I don't know how I will ever get all of that done.
Outside of the eye, there would be too much to do.
There'll be too much to do.
And I don't even know how to go about doing it.
I don't know how to go about doing it. I don't even know where to start.
This is too big of a goal.
This is too big of a goal.
And I don't think I'd ever be able to reach it.
I don't believe I'm going to be able to reach this goal of mine.
We miss some of the points here underneath the nose and the chin.
Okay.
And this next point is like an inch below the notch in your throat and an inch and a half on either side. There are two bony ridges there. I tap with my third finger and thumb, and some people use the whole palm. I just don't think I could reach it.
I just don't think I could reach it.
And then the last point is about 4 inches below your underarm. I don't think it'd ever happen.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
And then you just kind of take a deep breath, sip of water. If you have it there, that helps the energy to move. And think, reflect. Do I still have resistance on that point? Or, can the energy just flow there?
Yeah. I think I'd like to do it again, but it really made me feel good to get out those resistant thoughts and beliefs I had. I actually feel better just saying it out loud while I'm tapping. So can we tap again?
Sure. And just, whatever comes to mind. You don't need a specific script or anything like that. But, I've got this big goal for 2026.
I have this big goal for 2026.
And it might be more than I can chew.
It might be more than I could handle.
Outside of the eye. I just don't know how I would even go about doing it.
I don't even know where to get started or how to go about getting this goal.
And as you're doing whatever comes to mind, just call it out. It's going to take a lot of work.
It's going to take a lot of work and it'll feel like a second job and I'll be totally overwhelmed.
And I don't know if I'm up to all that extra work right now.
I don't know if I have it in me to go ahead and handle this ambitious goal.
But I really want to accomplish it.
But I really want to accomplish it. I think it'll change my life and make me a lot happier.
I really don't know how I'm going to do it.
I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't even know where to start.
But I'm just going to trust the process.
I'm just going to trust the process.
And then again, you take a deep breath and a sip of water. And
I really do feel better. It's so releasing to say it out loud.
And you feel that there's more resistance on it?
No, I'm feeling now, I don't feel as bad or as like it was this huge mountain I had to climb, but I feel a lot better about it now.
Okay, if you feel that, you're over that, then you can just check that one off the list. As you're tapping, additional things may come up and you just add them to your list. and you just keep going on and on. I did this a couple of weeks ago for myself for a goal that I had, and things cropped up. I just
Right.
tapped down those until everything is covered. Once you cover everything and you feel that, the next step will be to create an affirmation. So it would be something, I think it's most powerful to be in the present, to state, I am, and then whatever your goal is. So how would you state your goal, Marilyn?
I am going to double my revenue in 2026.
Okay. And that's good. It's nice and short, and it's something you can get your tongue around. And it's always best to say these things out loud. So the thing would be to just go through and affirm while tapping again. So
Okay.
you can just repeat at each point.
I am going to double my revenue in 2026.
Okay.
I'm going to double my revenue in 2026. My life will be so much easier and more pleasant and more comfortable when I double my revenue.
Well, I would stick with the affirmation just to make sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. I am doubling my revenue in 2026. I am doubling my revenue in 2026. I am doubling my revenue in 2026. I am doubling my revenue in 2026.
And you might want to go through that and do that for 2 or 3 more rounds because you are going through and embedding that into your energetic system.
Kathy, I'm not just making this up. I felt more comfortable with my goal after tapping it because when we first started, I did set this intention. And just so you know, this is November of 2025. So 2026 is coming up. And I set that goal for next year. But the tapping has made me much more comfortable with the idea and the concept and acknowledging where my resistance is. Yeah, I already feel a lot better.
It settles down your emotions. There's a little part of the brain here called the amygdala. And it is like the fight, flight, or freeze organ of the brain. And when you tap, you settle that down. So you're thinking, maybe before we started, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this, goal for, I've got this big goal and
That's
all
where it
kinds of
was.
flags come up. And then when you start tapping, then amygdala is settled down.
Okay. And so what is the most common for the viewers and listeners? What's something that they could tap for their financial goal, like just a generic, effective tapping for any kind of financial issue?
Well, it's always best to, instead of doing something very general, you can find tapping scripts, all over, social media and YouTube, but it's always best to have something that's specific to you. You have a specific goal for 2026. So I would look at a specific goal that somebody might have, maybe for a week, maybe they need to make $1,000 for the week. Or,
Oh,
maybe they have a specific goal, by the end of the year. And they can just go through and, again, formulate that goal. And then whatever limiting beliefs of yours come up, you can handle those rather than just doing something general.
and I agree. I've seen on social media people doing a general tapping. I am abundant, I am whatever. But again, it doesn't really resonate to me personally and my resistance. And I think one thing that people get hung up on is, okay, they say they want this. I mean, it is doable, but the how comes in and the fear. So what is resistance, and like how is tapping releasing that resistance?
The resistance comes in with your subconscious just throwing out things. It wants to protect you from doing anything different, from moving
Oh,
ahead. So
oh,
through going through and doing this, when you have negative thoughts and you keep thinking those thoughts over and over and over again, they go into an emotional freedom techniques. So you can just dissolve that emotion, that negative emotion that you're feeling, so that you have a clear channel where you can then think, okay, what is the next step that I have to do?
Right. And so it starts with the mental and then it goes into emotional. And that's where it kind of takes over our energetic vibrational frequency. And then we attract that. So by disrupting that with the tapping, it cuts the emotion. And then you're just left with the thought that doesn't make any sense and that you don't want to believe. Is that kind of
Well,
correct?
the thought, when you collapse the emotion, the thought is going to go with it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And, there are also wants that we have. If you keep thinking this emotion over and over and over again, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
Once you handle that wanting, it's like a domino effect. So the want is handled, the emotion is handled. It's like taking a four-legged chair and just knocking off one of the legs. You're going to collapse everything else that's there.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
why it's so powerful. The next step in this 5+1 process is actually to go through and to visualize.
Okay, let's do it.
So you would, close your eyes and then just visualize when you started to say, I will have this kind of a life and this is how it's going to be. This is the time to add that in. So you close your eyes and just do a round of tapping while visualizing what it's going to be like.
And I just visualize that in my head. I don't have to speak it out.
You can, but you could also do it silently. And then
Okay.
I'll just walk you
Well, okay.
through
Well,
the,
for the viewers, if I double my revenue, that gives me a lot of freedom in my day-to-day life. I could choose how my day goes.
and then inside of the eye,
And freedom is really important to me to have my personal freedom so I can choose.
outside of the eye,
And I deserve it. I deserve a life of ease and grace with peace and harmony and abundance and prosperity flowing in.
under the eye,
I can do this. Other people do it. I see it all the time. There's a process, just follow the process and it can manifest.
under the nose,
And I will figure it out one way or the other, and I'll get the inspiration, I'll get the opportunities to make that happen with ease and grace.
the chin,
And I deserve this. And I see other people doing it. And so I know it's possible. And I just have to change my beliefs and keep focused on the goal.
collarbone,
And this would change my life. It would be a game changer. It would be a new life for me. It would be a much more comfortable life. And comfort and freedom is happiness and joy.
and then under the arm.
And this is a goal that I can accomplish in 2026. Things could happen, opportunities could come, and I believe it.
Wonderful. So you just, take a deep breath, let the energy move, take a sip of water if you have that nearby.
Mm.
And when you're doing the affirmation, when you're doing the visualization, things may crop up again. Write
Oh,
them down and just tap on them and then do again the affirmation. If the affirmation changes, that's fine.
right.
When after you visualize it, then the +1 step in this 5+1 process is to continue tapping, visualizing until you feel that this is about 80% possible.
Oh,
I had
yes.
a client she was in her 60s and she wanted to join a senior master swim team. And she was too slow. They wouldn't allow her on the team. So we went through and did this practice. And the first time she thought, oh, maybe it's 10% possible, 20%, 40%. She got up to 80%. And then she went to the next tryout and she was the fastest one it was a relay team. She was the fastest one out of the four.
Well, the thing about EFT for me is it's simple and it's easy and super effective. Like I set this goal I think last week about doubling my revenue next year. And I almost didn't want to think about it because I wasn't comfortable with it. But even just the little simple examples that we were doing, which wasn't a real EFT session, and I have tremendous relief, and I'm actually starting to believe it's possible. So, yeah. And so, tell the viewers and audience what is it like to have a session with you on EFT?
Well, usually it's, it would be just like this. I would figure out, we would together, I would find out what their goal is and then find out maybe what resistance they have. So to list that and then just to go through and do this, the same process. I find it very helpful rather than just doing tapping rounds. Have a goal in mind, whether it be for finances or for health or for relationships or
Yeah.
for the swim team, as I mentioned. And, it works for everything. And this process is just very simple to do. It's a simple self-help tool.
Oh,
The one thing that you need to watch out though is if you've gone through some type of a trauma, it's better to work with a practitioner because we know exactly what to do to help you to get through that trauma. Sometimes you could get stuck if you're not
yeah.
sure exactly what to do.
And I know some of your clients have had a lot of PTSD, and you really work with people who have a lot of things to release. Well, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things. My family has worked with Kathy too. She's part of the family. And I know your website is kathleenrafter.com, and you could see how her name is spelled up there. Also, your YouTube channel, if you want to just watch some of that, is Kathleen Rafter. Your email is Kathy at kathleenrafter.com. Kathy is Kathy. And you also have a free offering of a Calm in the Moment kit. So you want to talk about that kit and how people can get that?
Sure. To make tapping even more effective, it's good to have just an opening, just to have an opening there to have a calmness, a peace where you can go through and just access that inner peace within you. And that's what this does. It has a 3-minute meditation you can use in the morning to set up your day. Who has time to spend half an hour or 3 hours meditating? Oh, so it can help you set up your day, and then it will help you at night to get a good night's sleep. That's one of the biggest things I've heard is people are having problems sleeping. And if you
Yes.
just do a simple
I'm one of those. So I think I need to get your freebie.
if you just do a simple meditation like this before sleeping, you'll have a great
Yeah.
night's sleep. There's
Yeah.
also a 1-minute reset that you can use all throughout the day. I use it every
Oh,
time I'm changing tasks.
and
It's not like it's not 1 3-hour meditation once a week. It's just going through and bringing yourself back to, your true self, the peace and the calm within you, especially in today's world with everything
oh,
that's going on, not just in your life, but you've got the world,
yeah.
coming in and
If I could, if it's all right if I say that you were working in a hospital during COVID. And I remember you telling me on the drive to the hospital, you would be doing your tapping because it was so highly, I don't know what the word for is, but I remember that. Yeah. So
yeah.
what's this 1 minute reset?
Basically, it's just I lead you through deep breathing. I help people to relax the body, to relax the mind, and then to get in touch with that peaceful true self within them. And then they can just visualize whatever the next step is, whatever the
Oh.
intention is for the next step.
So I know a lot of people, and you were like that working in the hospital during COVID and knowing what you're walking into. What about people going to jobs that they may not be super enthusiastic about or that are challenging with difficult people? What's a tip for them on the way to work how can they use that 1 minute reset?
Just thinking about, even if you can't close your eyes, you can go through and breathe very deeply. Relax your body, relax your shoulders. You probably feel stress behind your neck. I know I did. Your
You had a very
forehead.
challenging situation.
Oh, and then breathe in again, and you calm your mind.
Yeah.
If you can feel that energy within you, your thoughts will slow down or maybe even stop.
Oh, stopping those thoughts would be the key. I know that deep breathing can calm your nervous system. So when you're on your way to work and you start getting like the doom and gloom of what you're going to be encountering, to do deep breathing and calm your nervous system. Is it our nervous systems that get ramped up with the thoughts and the emotions? And
That's right, exactly. And it also, the deep breathing will calm your heart. And when your heart is still, then when I was working at the hospital, I was actually delivering food very often to patients. And things would, we had robots, things wouldn't be working well. And it was so crowded and people weren't getting their food on time. Patients would be very upset. Nurses would be upset. So the only thing I could do is just take a deep breath.
uh,
And when you take that deep breath or two or three, that will calm your nervous system. And
with
that,
intention, be intentional about it. That take a minute, no matter what kind of chaos is going on, and just go ahead and deep breathe.
and when you take that deep breath, then you can take the next step. And that also happens with the 5+1 method too. You have to take action. And when you're calm, whether you take a deep breath or you tap or you meditate, the whole idea is to just settle your nervous system so that you can access your intuition and know the next step to take.
So, what if someone is commuting to the office and they can't be doing this, in public? Is there a way to tap if you're in public and you can't do it physically?
There's something called finger tapping.
Oh,
And what you can do is actually tap on, let's see, the finger bed that's closest to you. It's hard to see on the thumb, but you'll be able to see on the other.
I could see. Yeah.
You tap on that nail. Zoom is reacting now. But going
Oh,
through and doing that, it's not as effective as doing the meridian tapping, but I would say for me, it's 85 to 90%. You can do this if, say, you were in a business meeting, you could have your hand under the table.
that's a good one because those business meetings, your mind is like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe they're saying this. Why am I here?
You could do it in the car, nobody's going to see you. Even if you're, on a bus or in a train, you can go through and have your hand on your pocket, in your pocket, you can go through and do the tapping, and it does the same thing. Those nerve endings are there, and it will help you to settle
And
down.
also, I just thought like you're on your way to a family event and you're like, oh, I don't want to see these people. These people are unhinged. So, do they do the same thing with their fingers? You first tap what your resistance is. Like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to this office. I have to go to the office because I need the money. I don't want to go home because my sister is verbally abusive to me, and you just tap everything that is unpleasant. Then what do you tap next?
Whatever comes to mind. I mean, whatever emotion comes up. You might be in a family discussion and somebody
Oh,
starts bringing up, things from childhood.
yes,
Oh,
that happens to me.
I can't stand this. When is she going to stop talking? Oh my goodness. When is this going to end? When can I leave? When you do that, it's just going to settle your nervous system so that you can sit there and, just at least be at peace with it, if not, accepting and being happy with it. And they'll
Right.
probably wonder what in the world is going on with them. Why aren't they reacting like they normally do?
Right, because they want to entangle your energy and feed off of that. So you kind of disrupt it. So you just go tap with your fingers about what you don't want, and then you could say, I'm gonna go, I'm going to be have peace and harmony. I'm just going to enjoy the food. What are some examples of some positive statements if you're going into an office or a work situation that's not very good, or your family? What are some positive affirmations?
However you want things to be, I want this to be a peaceful dinner. I want to be able to get along with so and so.
Oh, right.
I want to enjoy, this family gathering.
Yes.
I really want to be at peace here. I really want to have fun.
Yes.
Whatever comes to mind for a family event, for work. I really want to be productive today. I
Oh,
want to be able to get the collaboration that I need from so and so. I want to shine in that business meeting when everybody's around the table.
that's a good one.
Whatever goal you have, just do this. And what this will do, the tapping will neutralize whatever negative emotions come up while you're tapping.
Oh, and plus, when you're doing that, you're focusing on that, and you're cutting the entanglement, the energetic entanglement with what's ever going on. And just for everyone, it only takes one person. It's not like everybody at work or everyone in your family. It's just one person could just make everyone miserable. So, oh, okay. Well, Kathy, this was excellent information. I mean, and it really works. I encourage everybody, if you resonate with Kathy and EFT and you'd like to know more, she's also a spiritual life coach. So that's all on her website, KathleenRafter.com. Definitely go ahead and email her for the Calm in the Moment kit, which I think I'm going to do as well. And that would be Kathy at KathleenRafter.com is her email, Kathy being Kathy. And Kathy, any final advice for the audience and viewers?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you again, Mary Lynn, for inviting me. And there's no reason to stay in resistance and to stay with negativity, especially when you have such a simple tool as EFT. So,
I
try
agree.
it. And especially in the US, we have holidays coming. Try it.
Oh, the holidays can be triggering. We haven't even
Thanksgiving
talked about
dinner,
that.
Christmas, and so on, New Year's parties. And there are other,
Yeah.
things throughout the world, other events that
Yeah.
celebrations that people have. Try it and just, why suffer when you've got these simple self-help
Hmm.
tools? Use them and just be at
Yeah.
peace. Find love, find joy in your life.
And what I love about EFT is it's like everyone can do it, and there's very little resistance. Like, you work with the military veterans that come back from wars. This is not, woo woo, where you meditate 10 hours or anything like that, or let's go into your childhood. This is so simple that it's really everyone can do it. And I love that. So, okay, well, thank you, Kathy. And thank you, everyone, for listening in to today's episode. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if it resonated with you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks.